Hey, what's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard here at Ballard Sports Media. Hope everyone's doing great. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Gotta fix my shirt a little bit there. Uh, I'll be good. Love and appreciate all of you. Thanks for all the love and support on here. Let's keep it going here at Ballard Sports Media. I'm not going anywhere, but you know, a lot of stuff going on in my life right now with work, with talking with my fiance, wedding planning, stuff like that. Yeah, big congratulations, I guess. And um, just been so busy lately outside of YouTube that I'm trying to get back into the flow of things. But I definitely have to get this one out. And then we want to get back to doing team previews here within the next week or so. We're probably not going to get every team in the Power Four. We probably could. We still have some time. We got about 4 months. But if y'all ever want to help preview a team, whether you're a fan or not, maybe you're not even an expert on them, that's fine. Just let me know, and I'd love to get some help previewing teams, looking at their schedule, what they have coming in, doing predictions and stuff like that. So, but today we want to look at Alabama, who kicks off their spring game this week. They it's I don't think it's going to be televised that I've seen, and I'm not even sure about the kickoff time, but I know it's this Saturday on April um, 11th. So we'll kind of pull up some practice reports and stuff. I don't really have much notes on it, but we're going to kind of look at least one article from Katie Windham of Alabama Crimson Tide on SI. Alabama football spring practice report before the A-Day scrimmage. What can we expect? Before I read this, I will say that Kalen DeBoer has come out recently in a presser, um, and he had talked a little bit about the quarterback. I know everyone always wants to know about the Alabama quarterback situation. Everyone wants to know who's going to be the starter. This is not your typical type of starting battle. You know, you had Austin Mack, Keelan Russell, and Ty Simpson last year, and you could say it was obvious that Ty was going to start. I don't know if that's 100% true, though, because he had, Jalen Milroe in Kalen's first year, I think we knew was going to be the starter because he was the starter for Saban's last year in 2023. And he had his good moments, and you knew that Kalen DeBoer would come in and he would take over and be an offensive genius and everything like that, right? So it's set up for Jalen Milroe. Last year with Ty Simpson, it was if you go with him, you're probably going with the most talented guy in the room, um, at least with experience behind his belt, because he had played a little bit too. Now it's like Austin Mack or Keelan Russell. And on one hand, with Austin Mack, you have a guy that's been with Kalen DeBoer, who was a former five-star recruit to Washington. On the other hand, you have Keelan Russell, who's a five-star recruit, a little bit fresher as a freshman, true freshman, or I guess a red shirt because he didn't really play last year other than a couple snaps. But I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comments on the quarterback battle. I don't think we're going to get a starter named after A-Day. I would be shocked. It wouldn't upset me. In fact, it would relieve me that finally we have a coach that's willing to just come out and say who's the starter. Because Nick Saban never did that. Even with Jalen Hurts and Tua after the spring game in 2018, he never straight out like said, "Hey, Tua's our guy." We didn't know until that Louisville game that year when Tua started, and we're like, "Yeah, we knew it." But anyways, let's read on from Katie Windham of Alabama Crimson Tide on SI. Alabama football spring practice report before the A-Day scrimmage. In Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Alabama is just a few days away from an open scrimmage in front of the public for the 2026 A-Day game. But until then, the media got one last peek at what the Crimson Tide's been working on this spring. And we read on with the practice report. So here's the thing. So this part here says one quarterback will have to be the first one to take the field on Saturday for A-Day, but Alabama was not giving any hints on who that might be during practice. During the periods the media could see, the quarterbacks were always throwing in groups of three. Austin Mack and Keelan Russell were always part of the first group, obviously. And then true freshmen, Taden Evan Kawa, who I believe is from Hawaii, and then Jet Tamala, who had flipped to Alabama from Iowa State. They rotated in with that group. Okay. During the drills where all three were throwing at the same time, the quarterbacks first worked on shorter routes like slants on different parts of the field. Then they worked on deep routes to all segments of the field. Um, so And then it goes on to talk about some of the receivers. I think we know about that too. I mean, we know Ryan, who put out his full name, Ryan Coleman Williams. Ryan Williams, he changed to number one, by the way. Um, as previously, he was number two on his jersey. Lotsier Brooks also in the mix of wide receivers. NC State transfer Noah Rogers most likely will be the starters at receiver, with Rico Scott, Derek Meadows, and Sadarian Morgan also in the mix. I don't think there's a full on starting four. I agree with this article here. I could see what Noah Rogers. Noah Rogers was a beast at NC State. Lotsier Brooks had great time last year, and we know all about Ryan Williams. Um, Outside of that, is there really a go-to number four? Plus, is there really a starting tight end too? We'll see. Um, so during the media viewing period, I guess Kalen DeBoer was keeping a watchful eye over the quarterbacks, blah blah blah. You get to um, the defense. I don't really know where to start there, but um, linebacker position, we got to transfer this offseason from South Carolina. Desmond Umeozulu. Uh, Apparently Christian Robinson, who's our linebackers coach, had really good things to say about him after a couple reps in practice. He got some playing time with the linebacker and Wolf in the Wolf position, which I'm going to be honest, I'm not that big an expert to where I know what Mike, Will, Wolf, or I know certain teams call it different things at linebacker. I'm assuming that's like the middle linebacker for Alabama, but whatever. Um, so it goes on, but I think the big takeaway I would say is there is not a go-to starting quarterback right now for Alabama. I would say that. Um, Personally, here at Ballard Sports Media, I want Keelan Russell, and I think that's who it's going to be. I think Kalen DeBoer is not looking at Austin Mack because he was with me at Washington. I don't think he's going to go into this spring or summer or fall camp. I don't think he's going to do that. I mean, he could. He could do that, and legitimately so. Like, that's possible. But at the same time, it's like, okay, now what? I mean, you picked him because he's been with you all along. What about how he plays? You know, I mean, that's a little biased, don't you think? So I don't think Kalen DeBoer is going to do that. I don't think Ryan Grubb even wants to do that. Ryan Grubb, remember, was with Michael Penix, Austin Mack, and Kalen DeBoer at Washington. He had his time with Austin Mack a little bit as the backup. So um, there's so much there. Um, Yonze Pierre, outside linebacker, Desmond Umeozulu, Justin Hill, and Jamarian Matthews are kind of rotated at outside linebacker alongside veteran Yonze Pierre, who I believe is a junior this year. Didn't really start much as a freshman, I don't think, but we've had him a couple years. And just Kay Womack really had some good things to say as the defensive coordinator. I know we kind of talk about on here with Brock has been on here. My good buddy Brock, shout out to him. He um he says Kane Womack needs to get it together or go. I agree. It was not physical 100% of the time last year on defense. It wasn't very consistent at times. I have a feeling it's going to be better this year. I don't know if it's going to be consistent. I want consistency. I don't know if Alabama is going to have that defensively, but we'll see. Um, Again, I want anything I'm not mentioning in this video here for Alabama for A-Day or for the football season. If there's anything I'm missing that maybe I didn't hear or mention, please correct me in the comments. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. Overall, what I want to see. I want to see physical defense play. I want to see physical offensive line play too. I want to see the running backs hit with force. I want to see the wide receivers get open. I hope Ryan Williams has a better season this year. He had a lot of drop passes as a sophomore, kind of that sophomore slump last year with Ty Simpson at quarterback. And, I thought it got better as the season went on, but early on in the season, especially in like the Florida State loss, he just didn't look like himself. I'm not here to beat him up on it. It happens. He got the whole off season. He got hyped up. He's 17, going on 18, blah, 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 this and that. And then he takes the field and I don't want to say he flunked, but he didn't seem like what he was the year before. And that happens a lot in college football with stars. It happened with Trevor Lawrence. You remember Trevor Lawrence beat Alabama as a freshman and won the Natty. The next year, I forget who they opened with. But in that first game, the first couple weeks really, he was never benched for it by Dabo Swinney, but you could tell something was off and maybe the pressure was getting to him. And you're like, how is this possible? How is this happening? He's so good. He's so talented. That's kind of how it was last year with Ryan Williams. Ryan Coleman Williams, that is. Let me be real. So I don't know, man. Y'all let me know what you guys want to see from Alabama this fall. I want to see physicality on defense, physical toughness, breaking through the offensive line. The other side of the ball, I want to see good man coverage, getting off the field on third downs too, by the way, on defense. Getting the interceptions, getting the picks, forcing fumbles, just creating turnovers, 3 and out. Consistently, though, not like every other drive. I want to see like back-to-back drives. We get 3 and out. I don't care who we're playing. We play Florida State again, right? We play East Carolina to open the season. I think we still get who we get this year. We were supposed to have West Virginia. I think we play Georgia. We play Tennessee. We play Auburn. We play Mississippi State. I mean, I could go down the list, right? Here in 2026. But overall, I think Alabama's set up to have a really good spring game. We'll do something to recap it after this weekend. There's only so much we can be told at the moment going into it. I think we know that Austin Mack and Keelan Russell are the quarterbacks. We know about Ryan Williams and company. Jeremy Bernard's going pro. Isaiah Horton's going pro. All these guys going pro outside of Ryan Williams. So you got Red Morgan. He's going to be a key sophomore stud at cornerback, safety. He's going to look really good. You're going to have Latsier Brooks, Noah Rogers, who's an NC State transfer at wide receiver. Latsier Brooks also at wide receiver. Rico Scott, Derek Meadows, Sadarian Morgan, right? There's got to be at least 3 and then a tight end. But here's the thing. You might have a set 3 to start. Don't be surprised if they mix it up every couple plays on a drive for Alabama because that's a loaded wide receiver room. It really is. It's talented. Now you get to the college level with a transfer in Noah Rogers, who didn't really see much time at NC State, who's probably going to get the biggest opportunity of his life this year. You get Sadarian Morgan, who's a true freshman. I mean, you get these guys to come in, and yeah, maybe they see the field, they get a little nervous, but they'll get used to it, and they'll break out. They will look great. So overall, give them credit. I think it's a good starting point so far for the wide receiver core. The cornerbacks, reading from this article here, they worked on a coverage in traffic drill. Two receivers lined up behind each other. One corner was lined up roughly 5 yards behind the other. After the ball was snapped, the receivers went in opposite directions, and the cornerbacks had to quickly decide and follow. Apparently, starter Zabian Brown, who's been around for a few years, he's a junior now. He handled it with ease. He's a true freshman of that one year. We played Georgia in the regular season for Kalen's first year. He got the pick at the end of the game, if you don't remember. That was Zabian Brown. So, defensive backs coach Maurice Lindquist was animated through each of the drills. He commanded multiple players, but also scheduled a couple with hopes that their next rep is much better. Anyway, there's so much to take away. There's so much to love and learn about Alabama. But I love my Crimson Tide. I love all of you. I cannot wait for college football to kick off. We got plenty to talk about. A-Day is not yet in the books, but it will be here soon. And overall, I think Alabama is set up to have a really good spring game. Love you guys. Jesus loves you. Keep your head up. God bless. Roll Tide, and we'll see you next time here at Ballard Sports Media.